If you paid attention to the RNC, you probably had a lot of reason to be focused on what the speakers were saying, but there were issues between what they were saying as well, with the RNC apparently, potentially, having ripped off an artist for the use of their music. And joining us now to break down this and other topics, we've got the senior Washington correspondent for Business Insider, Dave Leventhal. Welcome back to the program.
Hey, great to be with you, John.
Good to have you here. So look, I doubt that this is gonna rise to the level of the most concerning thing that happened at the RNC, but tell me a little bit about what you found about some of the music that was used during the Republican convention.
Well, I was listening, as many people were, to the speakers of the RNC, and I noticed something funny in the interlude music between the speakers. There was one particular instrumental melody that just sounded really familiar. So I used my kitchen cabinet of friends back home in Buffalo to say, hey, do you guys recognize this? They said, yeah, independently of each other, they're like, it's that Ellie Goulding song from a few years ago. So one thing led to another, and when you match it up, it sounds pretty similar. Why does any of this matter? Well, it matters because it's sort of emblematic of something that the Trump campaign has been doing for a few years now, which is taking music from artists that have not given their express authorization to use that music. In some cases, the artists are absolutely anti-Trump, as is Ellie Goulding, and using the music anyway. And it was only a day later on the Thursday when Donald Trump gave his speech for the RNC, for the Republican National Convention from the White House, that he used music from Leonard Cohen, Hallelujah. And Leonard Cohen was somebody who was aghast at what was happening with the Trump administration before he passed away. So yeah, just kind of another example of an ongoing trend with Donald Trump and the Trump campaign.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't take a lot of research to turn up other instances in which artists that are explicitly against either an individual candidate like Donald Trump or against the Republican Party have their music co-opted. Really fast, to be fair, do we know of instances where, for instance, Joe Biden or some other candidate, on the opposite side might have done the same thing?
I can't think of any instances where Joe Biden specifically has done this. I am sure there are examples on the Democratic side of artists who, especially even if they don't have necessarily a philosophical opposition to the candidate who's using the music, they want to get paid. They want to make sure that their music is not just being used for political purposes and they're not getting remuneration, they're not getting compensation. So there's definitely a business element to this as well as a political element.
And it would seem like I know I can't go all willy-nilly with the music I play on my channel because on YouTube they take these things seriously. You can get a copyright strike, it could be a fine or whatever. Same with playing certain types of footage, like from local news channels. So we have to be very careful about that or violating copyrights. In this case, it's something arguably even more serious than YouTube. The RNC was played on multiple television networks, and seemingly, if the RNC was abusing copyrights, they were sort of opting those networks into helping them to abuse copyrights by broadcasting it. Now, I understand that there generally aren't consequences for anything in politics these days, but could they potentially be in any trouble? Is there any reason to believe that Ellie Goulding or the Cohen family or anyone else are pursuing any sort of money or legal ramifications for this?
Well, I reached out to Ellie Goulding's publicist, and they said absolutely that she has not given her permission for any political party, anyone, to use her music in a political context. And Leonard Cohen's estate is weighing its legal options. So in either of these cases, yes, there is a legal avenue. Yes, there is a possibility that there could be some sort of court action or movement. But there's nothing to indicate exactly yet that something is definitely 100% in the offing.
Interesting. And one of the things we were talking a little bit before the show I've always found so interesting is that the right, including Donald Trump and the commentators that he likes and independent right commenters, they love to attack Hollywood and pop culture and these artists and all of this, but they also want to use it. They want to have good music, and if it's playing a song like Born in the USA without understanding what it's about or violating copyrights, they still want to have the glitz and the glamour and the art and all of that, even if in this case, like with Donald Trump in a lot of other ways, doesn't actually want to pony up the money for it. So hardly the most important story, I will grant you, but good research there, and we'll see if perhaps it leads to something.
But you make a great point, John, that Donald Trump especially, conservatives, I mean, of course they want to put on a good show, and who's a bigger showman than Donald Trump? I mean, he has a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He wants to make sure that if he's gonna put on a production, that's gonna be a great production, and it's gotta have good music too, even if the music isn't necessarily coming from people who are authorizing Donald Trump to use that music.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.